If a stranger followed you for 3 miles, without blinking even once, would you notice it in time? She didn't. And by the time she turned around, he was less than an arm's length away. It happened in November of 2017, but the woman who lived through it says she still feels the man's stare whenever she walks alone at night. Her name is Hannah, a 26-year-old nurse from Portland, Oregon. She worked long rotating shifts at the local hospital, and that night she clocked out a little past midnight. The streets were quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your footsteps echo louder than they should. She took the same route home every night. 5 blocks past the coffee shop, turned left at the bookstore, then crossed the long stretch that led to her apartment building. Nothing about that walk ever scared her. Until that night. Hannah noticed him as soon as she stepped out of the employee entrance, a tall, thin man standing under a flickering street lamp. His posture was stiff, hands deep in the pockets of his jacket, chin tilted down as if he were staring at the ground. But the moment her shoes hit the pavement, the man's head snapped up, and he stared at her. Not casually, not curiously, like he had been waiting. Hannah tried to brush it off. Hospitals attracted strange characters, sometimes family members, patients, drifters. Maybe he wasn't even looking at her, but the feeling in her chest didn't agree. She turned left. The man turned left. At first, she convinced herself he just happened to be walking the same direction. But then she noticed something that made her stomach tighten. He wasn't walking. No bob, no natural movement, no shift in weight. Just a smooth, steady pace, like he was pulled forward by invisible strings. His face stayed locked on her, and his eyes weren't blinking. Not once. She tested it. She looked back again and again over the next block. Same stare. Her skin crawled. Her pulse started to drum painfully against her ribs. She tried her best to stay calm. People walk fast. People stare. But her instincts screamed that something was wrong. She reached for her phone and pretended to call someone. Loudly, she said, "Yeah, I'm almost home. I see Dad waiting at the door." She didn't have a dad waiting, but she hoped the man would hear. The man didn't react. Not a smile, not even a blink, just that dead, glassy stare. Hannah was breathing harder now. She crossed the first-mile marker near the old fire station. The streets got darker here, the streetlights more sparse, the buildings more closed in. She considered turning around and confronting him, but something about his lack of blinking unsettled her so much that she couldn't bring herself to get closer, not even by a step. 2 miles into the walk, she made a sudden turn into a brightly lit gas station. That should have been the end. Normal people don't follow someone into a gas station, but he did. And when she turned abruptly to look at him, she caught his face clearly for the first time. His eyes were open so wide, the whites looked stretched, and he was smiling. A small, unnatural, too wide smile, still not blinking. Before she could answer, the man turned and slipped back outside, silent, smooth, vanishing just beyond the gas pumps. Hannah's whole body shook. She stayed inside for almost 10 minutes. The clerk offered to walk her home, but she didn't want to involve anyone. Instead, she waited until she thought the man had left. As soon as she stepped out again, she saw him, or rather she heard him. Soft, quick footsteps behind her, keeping perfect time with her own. She didn't dare look back. She didn't want to see that smile again, but she could feel him in hers. Then she saw something in the corner of her eye, a shadow. Her breath caught. "Why did you stop looking at me?" Hannah's blood turned to ice. She ran. Her apartment was only a few blocks away, but the sound behind her, those fast, light footsteps, told her that he was running too. His breath didn't sound normal. It was shallow, almost panting, like a wild animal trying to keep pace. She didn't look back. She couldn't. She sprinted across the street, nearly tripping on the curb. Her keys shook violently in her hand as she reached her building. She slammed the glass door behind her and twisted the lock. The footsteps stopped abruptly on the other side. She finally looked up, and there he was. His face was pressed against the glass door, eyes wide open, staring at her without blinking. He was whispering something, but the glass muffled the words. All she could see was the way his lips moved too quickly, like he was muttering to himself. Then he did something that made her scream. He dragged one long, slow finger across the glass and blinked once, just once. Then he turned and walked away as calmly as if nothing had happened. Hannah called the police immediately. They checked the area, but the man was gone. The security camera caught most of it, a tall man following her almost the entire 3 miles. But the most disturbing part? The camera footage showed his face clearly during the chase. And the officer reviewing the footage said, "It's strange. He doesn't blink the entire time he's behind you. Not even once." To this day, the man has never been identified, and Hannah never walks home alone again.